Life often hides the deepest pain behind the brightest smiles, and no one knows this truth better than a mother. This is the story of Zainab, a poor but strong woman whose silent tears and hidden sacrifices became the foundation of her children's success. Zainab lived in a small village with her two children, Ayan and Mariam. Her husband, once a daily wage laborer, had passed away in an accident when the children were very young. Life had suddenly thrown her into the darkest storm, leaving her alone with two little souls to feed, clothe, and raise. Everyone in the village pitied her, but very few stood by her. Despite the hardship, she never begged or complained. Instead, she chose to fight for her children's future. Each morning, before the sun even rose, Zainab would leave for work. She washed clothes in nearby houses, carried heavy loads for shopkeepers, and even worked in the fields under the burning sun. Her hands were bruised, her back ached, but her eyes always carried hope. She wore an old, torn dupatta, but in her heart she carried a priceless dream that her children would one day study, rise above poverty, and live a life she could never afford. At home, she often went hungry so her children could eat. She stitched old clothes again and again so Mariam could go to school looking neat. When Ayan's school fee was due, she sold her only piece of gold, her wedding ring. That night, she cried silently, holding her husband's picture close, whispering, "Forgive me, I had to sell your last gift, but I cannot let your children's future slip away." Her sacrifices were endless, yet she never shared her pain. When the children asked why she wasn't eating, she smiled and said, "I'm not hungry, beta." When they saw her wounds from work, she would hide her hands under her dupatta. Her strength was hidden behind her silence, and her tears only fell when no one could see. Years passed. Ayan grew into a hard-working young man, while Mariam excelled in her studies. They never truly understood the depth of their mother's struggles until life revealed the truth. One winter night, Zainab fell ill. Her health had been deteriorating for years, but she had hidden it behind her smile. Doctors diagnosed her with a severe illness caused by years of weakness and malnutrition. Ayan, now working part-time to support the household, rushed to the doctor and begged for help. But the doctor's words broke him. She has been sacrificing her health for too long. Her body is too weak now. When Mariam came home crying, Zainab held her hand and said softly, "Don't cry, Meri beti. My life's purpose was never my own comfort. My purpose was to see you both succeed. If I had to live hungry, I did it with happiness, because your full stomach gave me peace. If I had to hide my pain, I did it with strength, because your smiles gave me strength. Always remember, a mother never dies, she lives inside her children's success." Despite the best efforts, Zainab's health worsened. One night, after praying quietly, she closed her eyes with a smile on her lips, whispering her last dua for her children. She left the world silently, just as she had lived. The house felt empty, but her presence was everywhere. In the walls she had cleaned, in the clothes she had stitched, in the books she had bought by sacrificing her meals. Ayan and Mariam were heartbroken, but they remembered her last words and promised to fulfill her dream. Years later, Ayan became a successful engineer and Mariam a doctor. On the day of Mariam's graduation, they both stood together, holding their degrees high, tears rolling down their cheeks. They whispered to the sky, "Ammi, we did it. Your sacrifices were not wasted. Every tear you shed became the light of our success. You are alive in us forever." And somewhere beyond the clouds, perhaps a mother's soul smiled, wiping away her silent tears at last.